This is going to be rapid fire all the seeds you can start both outdoors and still inside in a zone 3, aka an incredibly cold climate such as where I am. So I can't believe I'm saying this. It's May 2nd and it's 30 degrees Celsius during the day and the nighttime temps are 15. This may be temporary, this may not be temporary. My last frost date somehow, some way got bumped up an entire month this year. It used to be like June 10th. It is like May 15th this year, which just blows my mind. But with that being said, there are some parameters you're looking for outside of that last frost date to determine exactly what you're going to do. So I'm not going to point out the incredibly obvious ones here, but I am going to point out the ones that people don't typically know can go outdoors and or should actually still be held inside / started inside. So let's jump into it. So when we talk about cold season crops or frost resistant crops, we're typically talking about something very specific that actually comes into play when it comes to why they thrive and survive so well. So there's two kind of things that go on when we actually sow these crops a little bit earlier in the spring. While the soil is a little bit cool, our nighttime temps are still a little bit cool, and in most cases, normally the daytime temps are also equally as cool, except for this year. And it's actually a release of sugars and will in turn cause a tastier carrot, a tastier radishes, tastier beets, that sort of thing. So anything that falls in the world of like potato, radish, carrot, beet, these are all things that you can actually sow outdoors, and you may even get like better results than what you were expecting. So 3 that actually do well in like a cooler soil. So 5 degrees Celsius is generally when peas begin to sprout. Radishes and carrots will sow and actually prefer to germinate in a cooler soil overall because they like that kind of slow germination process. Spinach and kale literally only need 2 degrees Celsius. I have spinach literally in the front yard right now, doing great. It's been growing for a while and I actually sowed it last fall, so it was kind of like my that my soil was at that 2 degrees Celsius mark, and it's wonderful. Now radishes are around the 5 to 10 degrees Celsius mark when it comes to the soil temp, so they're a little bit on the warmer side, but regardless they're still pretty darn cool compared to what a lot of crops do need. So stuff you should not transplant outdoors, stuff you should not sow outdoors can include things like the tomatoes and the peppers and eggplants if you've started those. I don't remember, I always forget about them because I kind of find them like icky, but anyways, I think it's really important to mention this because several of you are like, oh my gosh, my tomatoes are so far behind. I still have seedlings indoors. I'm gonna do Wednesday, I'm gonna release a kind of like a tour of what I have going. You're gonna notice I have seedlings like cotyledon stage, not even sprouted yet, seedlings for tomatoes. You're not too far behind. I promise you, if you follow what I'm telling you to do, it's gonna line up perfectly. You're not gonna have overgrown spindly tomatoes. You're gonna have perfect tomatoes. So this is where mine are at. You can see I've got like what, 2, 3, 4 true leaves on these guys that are potted up, and that's where we want them at. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If you don't want bushes, these will transplant a heck of a lot better. They're going to rebound a heck of a lot faster, and you will be caught up to, if not better off, compared to those that started them 2-3 months ago. These guys I don't put outside until my nighttime temps are consistently above 10 degrees Celsius. This normally comes around the beginning of June, first week of June. This year it may be sooner. So if it is sooner, then I'm going to put them outside sooner, but typically speaking, they will reside inside of here for a longer period of time. And if you want to learn more on like the 5 best ways to grow tomatoes and take into consideration temperature and fertilizer and all that sort of stuff, check out that video right there because it's going to give you a little bit more insight into the ins and outs of why I keep these indoors, regardless of the fact that it is 30 degrees outside. Squash and cucumbers. So this is specific to winter squash for the most part. But summer squash can actually play into this to an extent as well. And then cucumbers, we're talking cucamelons, regular cucumbers, you name it. All of these actually will rot in a cooler soil, and they need around 16 degrees Celsius for the soil temp. So what this means is that either A, you need to sow them and then cloche them, or put like a tunnel over top of them. If you don't have access to that, then you need to just wait for that soil temp to hit the appropriate temperature. And raised beds will hit that sooner than in-ground beds, and raised beds in lots of sun will hit that even sooner than in-ground beds that are in shade. You guys get the idea. The reason for why they need these warmer soil temps is because the enzymes that actually begin the germination process don't activate until those temps are hit. There was a study done by that was published in Experimental Botany, and essentially it went through gibberellins, and gibberellins are like the growth hormone that trigger the germination cycle, if you will. And these typically, for the crops I'm listing, don't get triggered until the soil temp is around that 15 degrees Celsius minimum. But if you can get it up to 25 degrees Celsius, I'm not even joking, via heat mats or inside of a greenhouse, you can get up to 3 times more root mass. Based on that study, you can see how 15 degrees Celsius is the minimum, but 25 degrees Celsius is like ideal world. Now, before we continue on with like extreme temperature fluctuations from crops at like the super cold to crops at like the super high, I do want to mention something. My sister she's younger than me and she has MS, and I am doing a walk with her. So if you're in Saskatoon and you want to hang out with me for like 45 minutes to an hour and do like a little 5K walk, then I'm gonna leave a link down below. You can click that. If you don't want to do the walk or you can't do the walk because you're not from here, there is a link to donate. If you do donate, I don't get anything from it, but it would mean a lot to me if you click on it. And the reason I said that and I thought of it just now is because my sister's form of MS, or just MS in general, she's very sensitive to like massive fluctuations in temperature. So if it's really cold or really hot, she tends to have like a flare up. So my brain was just like, what else doesn't like temp changes? And I was like, my sister. So anyways, the last reason for why you don't necessarily want to just jump the gun and sow a bunch of seeds in ground right now and actually wait, or the reason why you don't want to throw a whole bunch of transplants in the ground right now and you want to wait, is because the soil, microbially speaking, whether it comes to mineralization or decomposition, really doesn't pick up the pace and hit an acceptable of it until the soil is at that 10 degrees Celsius mark. If you're concerned about that portion of it, then it's another reason to hold off. I personally this weekend did my pole beans. I'm going to do my bush beans tomorrow. I did carrots. I did my onion sets. So if you have any sort of sets, now's the time. I'm going to put my onion seedlings outdoors. I'm going to put my bok choy seedlings outdoors. And then I sowed a few different versions of winter squash in my raised beds in the very sunny portion of my front yard. So that soil temp is really warm, and that's the reason why they're there. And that's kind of all I'm putting in the ground for right now. Other than that, I'm doing a ton of soil prep. And so actually one of my videos coming up this week is going to be on the process of soil prep and what it looks like, because I think people are a little bit confused as to what soil should look like. Unfortunately, I'm going to kind of go through all of that and what you need to do. If it's still cold where you are and you can kind of capitalize on a little bit of that cold stratification, things like poppies and columbines and that sort of stuff, direct sown right now is a great idea. Unfortunately, you're a little bit too far past that if you're in my climate or my area of the world, which normally you wouldn't be past that, but today we are. That is one thing that you can also consider when it comes to wildflowers. And then just wildflowers in general, just start chaos sowing those all over the garden and they will perform well. The only other flower that I'm actually going to sow now is going to be sunflowers. So they tend to do okay in, warm-ish soil. They prefer warmer soil, I'm sure, rather than colder soil. The ones I'm holding off on are going to be the marigolds and the zinnias, because those two are prone to rotting in the event that they get really cold. I think the important thing overall when it comes to either transplanting outdoors or starting seeds outdoors is that you want to just step back and take a breath. Mother Nature is, she's teasing you right now. She's definitely teasing you. There's a number of other things we can do this time of year. We can get the soil prepped. We can organize or plan the garden. We can, make new raised beds or in-ground beds for that matter, or get more containers, whatever you need. And those are all important and things you should consider doing long before starting to transplant or to sow seeds. I want to thank you guys so much for watching Geek Crew. I will talk to you guys next time. Let me know in the comments down below what you've decided to sow this weekend, what you're not sowing this weekend, and what is still in the greenhouse versus what you've just said, screw it, it's getting transplanted outdoors. This, for the most part, is going to be a lot of those brassicas. If you're doing broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, those I could see also getting sown outdoors right now this time of year. But anyways, I'd love to hear it. And tell me what your climate is. Like, how warm is it where you are right now? Because is Saskatchewan just menopausal right now? It's never been this warm ever. So anyways,